Hello everybody out there, my name is Shadow Phoenix and welcome back to another episode of Park News. I'm changing up the style a bit this time around. And instead of doing just a single story, I'm most likely going to make this like an every Friday thing, rounding up the news that's happened during the week in amusement parks and theme parks around the world. I would love to do an actual daily blog, but I just don't think I'd be able to keep up with that kind of work that it takes to do that, with editing and everything, as well as producing other content for my channel. So without further ado, let's talk about what's going on in amusement parks and theme parks around the world. Wait, I already said that, didn't I? Well, it doesn't matter. These are the stories that caught my fancy this week. So let's start off with a big one. All right. Disney. Disney parks are continuing to add new Marvel-themed attractions to their offerings across the globe. Highlighted in a series of announcements this week, the popular characters that are part of the Marvel Universe will become a part of new lands, shows, and rides at several parks over the next few years. Most notably to me, as I'm in the United States, at Disney California Adventure, the addition of a whole new theme section based on Marvel characters has finally been confirmed. Opening in 2020, a new land will take up the space currently occupied by a Bugs Land, which includes the closure of It's Tough to Be a Bug that took place on March 19th. The rest of the Bugs Life themed land will close at the end of the summer. The space is adjacent to the recently opened Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout attraction and will feature the Avengers and Spider-Man. No hints yet on what other rides or attractions are going to be built in this particular area, though. Mission Breakout seems to be popular with the general public and families. However, Disney fans and park enthusiasts in general, they don't seem too happy with the actual changeover from Tower of Terror, which, Tower of Terror was a classic, so I'm kind of in agreement on this, actually. I've not even ridden it, but I'm totally in agreement on this. I've even heard the drop just doesn't have that same thrill that it once had when it was Tower of Terror, because it's been toned down more for families. I personally always thought if they were going to change out a ride and do something with Marvel or Guardians of the Galaxy, it should have been Rock and Roller Coaster. It just kind of makes sense in my head, which is funny when you look at this next bit of news. So Disney recently announced a large expansion for Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris, which will include a new Marvel-themed land and a retrofit of Rock and Roller Coaster. Based on the Avengers characters. So apparently my idea was a decent idea, except instead of using Guardians, it's an Avengers thing. So the new ride is set to open in 2020, but this summer the park will hold the Marvel Summer of Superheroes event, featuring an all-new show titled Marvel Superheroes United. Show will be held indoors at the Studio Theater and is described as a live-action super production that mixes huge 400-meter stage with one of the biggest LED screens in Europe, incredible special effects, and for the first time in a Disney park, the indoor use of drones beneath unbelievable aerial choreography for a truly spectacular show. More details of the incredible show can be found in the press release. Drones indoors? I don't know. That kind of sounds cool. I mean, I'd watch it if I had nothing else better to do. It does kind of seem kind of cool. Yeah. So, and then also previously announced in the creation of a new Marvel land in Hong Kong Disneyland, a new ride based on Ant-Man and the Wasp will join the existing Iron Man experience and give any visitors a new world to explore. So that's everything that's kind of happened Disney-wise this week. That's the big news from Disney, is the Marvel stuff. Going back to the Disney California Adventure stuff and the closure of a Bugs Life area, this isn't too surprising. I kind of see it happening. Bugs Life, I don't know how popular that actually is, but it is an older movie, and you don't really see a whole lot of people talking about Bugs Life or anything anymore. I don't think it was one of the more memorable movies from Disney and Pixar and those. Not like The Incredibles or Toy Story or Frozen or even Cars, really. Bugs Life was just kind of, meh. I could be wrong. Hey, maybe there's a lot of Bugs Life fans out there. Maybe there is. And you guys are furious over this. Having never actually been to a Disney park myself, which I know, incredible. I haven't been. I would love to go. I've never been able to actually get a chance and the money to go. It's expensive to go to Disney. But, I would think that, yeah, I mean, this makes sense. I'm not too keen on changing the whole California Adventure thing and being more IP based. I really liked the Tower of Terror I loved how it looked in that area. I love how that entire area right there looks. But, you know, I guess these changes are going to come whether we like them or not. So we might as well just kind of get on board, I guess. You know, there's nothing we can do. There's been a lot of great attractions at Disney that we have lost over the years. So, all right, moving on. Let's head over from Disney to what I consider to be another well-themed park here in the U.S., Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. In celebration of the Loch Ness Monster turning 40 this year, it appears it's been given some all-new trains, sort of. They appear to have just been updated to a different restraint system. While still over the shoulder, I'm hearing they are roomier and have a taller headrest, similar in style to what was found in like Carolina Cobra, Tennessee Tornado. There's also lots of new merchandise touting that 40 years logo, which is actually pretty cool. I've watched a few videos. They apparently had a pass preview day. So if you're like a season pass holder, they had a season pass holders preview day the other day. And I watched a video of a guy that went there to it. And yeah, I mean, the park looks great as always. And, you know, the new Battle for Erie, however you pronounce that, it hasn't opened yet. They were hoping for a soft opening that day, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, the biggest news that day was, of course, the Loch Ness Monster, and it being 40 years old. So it's a 40-year-old aero coaster. That's pretty amazing. It's hard to believe that it is that old. It's hard to believe I'm that old. So, all right. Now let's head across the pond for a few stories. Blackpool Pleasure Beach's massive new launched roller coaster Icon is now testing, and the amusement park has released a new video showing off the ride. Some of the footage you're seeing right now. Designed by Mack Rides, Icon features 2 separate LSM launches, 3,750 feet of track. It's quite long for a launch coaster. Icon combines launch speeds of up to 53 miles per hour with a hyper-twisted layout that interacts with many of Blackpool Pleasure Beach's existing rides. There are elements such as a giant airtime hill, an Immelman, tunnels, helixes around rides, even a Heartline rail. Icon is the largest investment that the park has ever made in a single attraction. Mack seems to be doing quite well this year. We also just had Time Traveler that just opened in Silver Dollar City in the last couple of weeks here. That opened on the 14th, so that was last week. And that is an amazing looking ride. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of spinning coasters. Never been on one, but I don't like the idea of going that fast and spinning that much. Spinning is kind of, I don't know, it could be fun. I do like scramblers and things like that. Those monster rides, you know, like the octopus and stuff, they can kind of mess with me a little bit. But, I mean, I would love to try Time Traveler, though. I think if any of them at all, I would probably try Time Traveler. But yeah, and then of course, you know, Mack's got Icon opening as well, which looks to be another great coaster. All right, let's head over to a different park. Again, Mack Rides. They posted a couple of new pieces of art this week showing off part of the new themed queue for the Eurosat Can-Can coaster, and other image showing off the theming inside the new coaster's loading station. Interestingly enough, though, another comment on Twitter, they also confirmed that the theming to be used for the separate Eurosat Coasterality, hopefully I pronounced that right, because it's kind of a cross between coaster and virtual reality. Anyway, station they are building will have an entirely separate theme from the Can-Can coaster side. So you got one side being the virtual reality version of the ride, which a lot of parks are doing these days, and then you have the other park, which is going to be this very Moulin Rouge type thing. So my understanding is that Europa Park is redoing quite a bit of their French-themed area where the coaster sits. Visitors will have the chance to admire a true-to-life replica of the Moulin Rouge from Bellepoque. I'm butchering these names because I'm from Kentucky. Leave me alone. Guests can stroll through the waiting area full of intricate Parisian decorations in the Moulin Rouge Theater before embarking on the carriages of the Eurosat Can-Can coaster for a night's journey through the City of Light. The genuine true-to-life replica at Europa Park honors the tradition of the Moulin Rouge, a landmark of Parisian nightlife that is shown on the hill of, not even going to try to pronounce that, Montmartre. Anyway, since the 19th century. So it's really cool. In the art and stuff that they've showed of it, it does look like an amazing coaster. I love a really well themed coaster, and I don't know too much about the coaster itself because it is over in Europe, and I most likely will never get over there that way. You never know, but most likely not. But it does look like a really cool idea. And it's even going to have the giant windmill right on top of the coaster entrance, so that's really cool. The rails and trains are being completely renewed, and all of the technology and thematization will undergo extensive refurbishment. The entire facade will also be given a new look that will showcase to visitors the rich culture and history of France. The Eurosat Can-Can will welcome passengers again in the summer of 2018. That's a weird name for it, Eurosat Can-Can, but all right. Let's head over to another park. After Linnamaki, oh God, this may not. Here I am trying to butcher these words in actual streams. They've closed the Voluptuous Flume Ride at the end of the last season. Rumors have been flying ever since then about what would replace it. A year ago, long before the park admitted that their flume ride was leaving. Is it technically a flume ride? It's kind of a water coaster. But anyway, an animated video from S&S showing off a proposed coaster concept leaked out online briefly. With the new coaster taking over the flume ride's location in the park, Voluptuous was, that's basically what's going to happen. So we got this new coaster. It's taking over, where the water coaster did sit. Voluptuous was a water coaster built by Premier Rides and was only one of two that I know were ever built. The other was Buzzsaw Falls at Silver Dollar City, which I will be doing an interesting video here very, very soon on that one. Linnamaki has confirmed that their 2019 coaster is being named Tega. I think I got that one right. Multi-launch coaster creation from Intamin that really seems to pack a lot of track into a small footprint. Featured elements will include a 52-meter top hat, a track length of 1,104 meters, top speed of 106 kilometers, not 160, that's fast, 106 kilometers per hour, 2 launches, and 4 inversions. The layout you guys are kind of looking at here on the pictures and stuff going through now. Let's head back to the U.S. now for our final few stories today. This one's kind of a big one, or at least a lot to talk about. So California's Great America opens tomorrow, March 24th, for the start of their 2018 season. Railblazer will not be ready for guests in the park, but they are happy to show it off in a new blog update that happened. The main structure of the ride was completed some time ago, but the park has been hard at work on all the theming that will surround the coaster, as well as the station and the queue. Now, these photos shared on the blog post give us a look at that work underway. Depicted in the concept art that was released for Railblazer, California's Great America is adding considerable theming around the base of the coaster, including a waterway and elaborate landscaping. Now, these photos show off several of the large stones and boulders that are being formed in various levels of completeness. The addition of the rocks that the track will move past and through, as with the base of the first drop, will work to make the ride seem even faster than the given top speed of 52 miles per hour. I actually saw Wonder Woman testing. That thing is fast. I mean, it's surprisingly fast. It seems faster than 52 miles per hour. I don't know if the video was sped up, but man, that thing zoomed through the course. The ride's theme for Railblazer revolves around off-road adventure through the California wilderness. Now, from what I'm seeing already, this coaster is the standout between its sister, Wonder Woman at Six Flags Fiesta. So, the theme park promises that an opening day for Railblazer will be announced soon, so stay tuned for that. The blog also revealed that the park's amphitheater-style show structure, the Peanuts Playhouse, is being removed. If you add in the space that the amphitheater took up, along with the already removed Endeavor looping ship and the Loggers Run flume ride, it creates 2 big patches of space. These areas seem pretty much like they're going to be used for a massive water park transformation, including new slides, name, and maybe even a new theme for it. The water park renovation was mentioned plenty in the planning documents for the park's rezoning, so this isn't a huge surprise. However, if you take it one step further, you can also consider the space that Snoopy's Splash Dance took up. That was also announced as removed. Plus, the park has unofficially announced that 2018 is the last year for the go-karts. Suddenly, you have an absolutely massive area here to play with. This leaves 2 kiddie rides. The park's kiddie coaster, the Woodstock Express, is off in the corner by themselves. Considering the changes so far, these may also be pretty much on their last legs. The flat rides could maybe be moved, but I don't see them spending money to move the coaster itself. Bottom portion here seems like it could be the station area for the expected hypercoaster, but time will tell. Expected hypercoaster, you say? Yes, back in September, it was reported that Great America filed for permission with the FFA for a new 240-foot attraction to be constructed in late 2018. So, possibly a hypercoaster, or possibly a Starflyer. Again, we don't know, but most people are kind of saying that it could probably most likely be a hypercoaster here. And I could maybe see that at Great America, but again, time will tell. Alright, and we're going to move into a little bit of sad news here. So, it's the end of the ride for the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk's Ferris wheel. Workers dismantled it Monday after nearly 60 years in service. Removal of the Ferris wheel will leave a noticeable hole in the familiar skyline of the Santa Cruz Boardwalk, and locals are anxious to find out what will take its place. I'm not even a local, but I'm kind of curious. Like, will they put another Ferris wheel up? Will they do something different? Boardwalk spokesman Chris Ray said, Ferris wheels are an iconic part of seaside amusement parks, so it's been very popular over the years, and it's very beloved. But after 60 years, it's time to look at new and different options. So it doesn't sound like they are going to put a different kind of Ferris wheel in there, but they're going to do something. Hopefully it at least looks as nice as the Ferris wheel does on a skyline, but we'll see what kind of the future holds in there. There's been no decisions so far being made regarding the Ferris wheel's successor. So now that leaves us at the end of this episode of Park News. Man, I need a better name for this. Before I go, I do want to report on one major thing that has my interest at the moment. It's already been reported on many other enthusiasts' blogs and things and news sources, but I definitely want to talk about it myself as well because it's near and dear to me. I'm talking about the Dollywood 2019-2020 expansion. Concept art has been showing off the layout of the new 5-acre land being added to Dollywood for the 2019, and that basically popped up this month. Right around March 6th, I think it was, from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee Tours. I can't remember the website exactly. These images include the layout of a new coaster, which some roller coaster enthusiasts have pointed out to be very similar to the Vekoma family suspended coaster or Conan. In fact, almost basic a clone. As you can kind of see here, we have a picture of the layout of the blueprints basically. And then here is a blueprint for Orkanen. And when you combine these together, you can kind of see what they're talking about. So yeah, we may get a Vekoma suspended coaster here very soon at Dollywood. Some people have said that this will be an enclosed coaster because if you look at the plans, it was pointed out that it kind of has this circular thing around it, which is really, really weird. But it's been pointed out that no, what the blueprint is actually showing is the swinging radius of the ride. At my first glance at the blueprints, when I first saw them, my first thoughts was, wow, this kind of looks like a bobsled coaster. And I thought maybe they might be building something like Flying Turns, which would be really awesome. That would have been a great addition to the park if they could have pulled that off because, Nobles, they had a lot of trouble with that. But they finally got it open, and I hear it's pretty cool. I thought maybe a bobsled coaster would very much go along with the mountain, atmosphere that Dollywood has. However, though, it definitely seems like it's going to be that Vekoma suspended. A lot of people out there are thinking, oh no, wait, Vekoma suspended. But this one will be using the latest trains and restraint system that's much more comfortable, I'm told. I've always found Dollywood to be the park that takes things to the next level here in the U.S., as a lot of their rides are firsts here in the United States. They had the first B&M wing coaster to open, as well as Mystery Mine being the first Eurofighter here in the States. So a clone of Orkanen could definitely be a welcome addition to the park, and I'm looking forward to seeing more about this and watching the construction of this one. Looking more at the plans, you also can make out a number of new flat rides being added to the area, which is always a good thing, along with some kind of tracked ride. It's hard to say what the tracked ride is. It could be some sort of car ride, maybe even a flume. I'm not really putting much money on a flume. Most parks seem to be taking their flumes out, They seem to be a dying breed these days. It would be refreshing, though, to have a flume ride come back, like a park build a new flume ride. That would be awesome. I just don't see it being that, so it's probably something else. Maybe an antique car ride, maybe, it's hard to say. It could be something for kids or something too. Maybe even that, maybe they'll even bring that splash battle back. You don't know. Other interesting features you can see are the two large buildings being added. One near the pathway entrance by Mystery Mine, and the other at the far end just before you reach the coaster. One description mentioned an indoor play attraction space, but what is the other building for? Well, most likely it's the new restaurant that has also been mentioned as coming with the expansion. So we got the play area and the restaurant. Both of these have been talked about. One of the new flat rides that you're looking at in the blueprints is going to be a swinging ship style ride, which makes the theming for this new area even more intriguing to me. As a Planet Coaster player and always trying to come up with a way to make those rides fit into a theme, I'm very interested to see more in this project with the Cronin's layout involving quite a bit of water. Could it maybe be some sort of frontier type dock area? Just thinking out loud to myself, but nonetheless, exciting things are happening in one of my favorite parks. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Park News. Yeah, I definitely need a new name for this series. Thoughts out there? Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for all the support from everyone here on my channel and for watching my videos and subscribing. Let me know your thoughts about any of the news that I covered today, as well as your thoughts on this series, improvements, etc. And remember, please be respectful of other people's thoughts as well. We all have different opinions. We don't have to fight about it. Thanks again. I'll see you all in the next video. If you're here only for the park news, that will be every Friday from now on. And if you're here for the Planet Coaster stuff, that's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then we'll have other stuff in between those days. So pretty much daily videos. Alright guys, thanks again. I'll see you guys later. Hey everyone, if you'd like to help support me and my channel, I have a Patreon page where you can do just that. You can pledge anything from $1 or more. Anyone who pledges $15 or more gets a unique, specially designed roller coaster and Planet Coaster made just for them. My little way of saying thanks. You can also just send donations as well if you don't want to join Patreon. And you can find those links in the video description below. Every tiny red cent I make from these means the world to me and is extremely helpful. If you're interested in my PC setup that I work with and play on that you see here, every piece of the system is described below with links to Amazon if you want to purchase them or anything else. Thanks for tuning in to my videos and my channel. If you aren't already a subscriber, click that on the screen below. And you can also check out a few of my other videos on the screen here as well. You can keep up to date on what's going on in my own little world via Twitter or watch me stream live on Twitch as well. Links are in the video description below. So wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night.